When I was asked to come up here and introduce Brad today, I thought that you might enjoy knowing a little bit of how he earned this podium. Early in the 90s, if I understand right, Brad took off being an adventurous being. He spent the next year traveling the world, traveling ever west. In his travels, he picked up tidbits of knowledge and all kinds of wonderful little pieces of knowledge. Being an avid illustrator, he also collected a substantial amount of little drawings and little bits of character and personality of the places that he visited. And so when he came back, as I was mentioning with Self-Party, I published, and Brad self-published a book called World Stompers. Oliver Stone called it a subversive masterpiece. It was also around the time that he started the CCC collective, for lack of a better way, in San Francisco on Howard Street, which will become more pertinent to you in a few moments. I moved back to Minnesota. Santosh just kept publishing. And so he did some extreme adventures. He went on to sacred places. And all this time, as he was traveling and researching and working with other writers, he collected all kinds of esoteric knowledge. And throw in the 15th anniversary of the Howard Street Fair, How Weird Street Fair, which will be May 4th, 2014, in South of Market, and all the fun and interesting things that have built up to that, and your opportunity to come here and listen to Brad speak. And I hope you appreciate that, his long-winded background will be supported by a very interesting and intellectual discussion.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. This evening is kind of like coming full circle, because it was right here in this auditorium about 2.5 years ago that I came to see Jacques Vallée speak. And at that time, I met Steve Bassett for the first time, and I also met Doris Laura, who turned out to be the lead editor of the Esoteric Series of books. And as some of the people up in the top row, some of my friends mentioned, I also produced the How Weird Street Fair, which we're going to have our 15th annual on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And the theme this year is How Weird in Outer Space. So we're here tonight to talk about modern esoteric. And this book is actually the first in a series of 3. Future Esoteric came out about 14 months ago, and it's actually book 2 in the series, and I have the 3rd on my laptop. We're working on it still. But Modern Esoteric is the first in the series. So the way I explain it on the shows that I'm on is Modern Esoteric is everything looking back up to this modern age, where Future Esoteric book 2 is basically the 20th century, 21st century, projecting forward with much of the ET UFO information, which Steve said was a tour de force, which was a great compliment. Yeah. When you spoke at the last Friendly Favors. So I thought it'd be good to start out by just defining our terms. And that is, well, Sergio marketed this talk as the occult knowledge today and humanity's first great awakening, which is pretty close, although the definition of occult is of or pertaining to magic, astrology, or any system claiming use or knowledge of secret or supernatural powers or agencies. Beyond the range of ordinary knowledge or understanding, mysterious, secret, disclosed, or communicated only to the initiated, hidden from view. Not apparent on mere inspection, but discoverable by experimentation. Of nature not understood as physical qualities, dealing with such qualities, occult science. And while the occult is certainly part of the introduction and some of the information that is contained in Modern Esoteric.
So you can get behind this. Yeah, okay. For yourself.
The fact that it deals with magic and astrology, which are mentioned, I have to cover all these subjects, but not quite as extensively as what is considered esoteric. And that is the word, of course, that I've seized upon for this series of books, the Esoteric Series. And so the definition of esoteric is this: understood by or meant for only the select few who have special knowledge or interest. Poetry full of esoteric allusions, belonging to a select few, private, secret, confidential, of a philosophical doctrine or the like, intended to be revealed only to the initiates of a group. The esoteric doctrines of Pythagoras. So basically, these are subjects that you really have to be interested in. You have to seek them out. You have to do your homework. You have to study them. And then when you start to grasp them and understand them, they become part of your power. It's sort of like if you were to study to, say, be a black belt in karate. You can't just walk into the studio and say, oh, I can do a couple kicks and punches, give me a black belt. No, you have to study, you have to work towards it, you have to be very disciplined, and then only after many years or even a decade can you then achieve the black belt that you so desire. And then it becomes your power for the rest of your life. And that's what I think these esoteric subjects are. They're like a certain degree of power that each of us can attain as we build our knowledge base around them and get stronger with that. So let's see if this works. Yes, good. We're on a roll. So we've all seen The Matrix. You take the blue pill, believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. And in the context of this esoteric presentation, the red pill is hidden truth. And this is, as I was saying just now with the explanation of what esoteric is what we're really interested in, and what the gist of these books is all about. But where does the matrix of lies come from, the deception? History is being constantly rewritten to favor those in power. The version of history you were taught in school was heavily revised to favor your own nation's hidden agenda while hiding some of its crimes. And in doing so, fostered an unrealistic set of false patriotism used to manufacture your allegiance to a corporate entity masquerading as your government. And ever since 1871, the United States of America has served corporations. Have you ever had the feeling that everything you thought you knew was a lie? Everything from history, science, government, banking, money, law, economics, farming, energy production, water treatment, healthcare, even spirituality. As we awaken to the truth, we're realizing that beneficial information in all these areas has been suppressed and revised in order to keep us enslaved and dependent upon a corrupt, debt-based system we can never pay off. Run by several private families, corrupt banksters invest in global wars to perpetuate the debt, control essential resources, and keep up value for themselves. One of the sayings on the back cover of Future Esoteric is the alternative narrative. And the way I describe this is we all know from what we're taught in school, to what the mass media tells us, to what the politicians are spouting. That's the ordinary narrative. That's basically what they want us to believe is the nature of reality. But I think everybody here in this room realizes there's more to the picture than just what we're being told. And that's what I call the alternative narrative. And sometimes destroying illusions comes with the territory. I'm probably not alone when I say that Obama has turned out to be a great disappointment. His words and actions just don't match up. But rather than being upset, I'm personally grateful. Because now I know, without a doubt, that it is not the president's calling the shots, but unseen forces which really control the decision and policies of this highest office. If wealth and income weren't already so concentrated in the hands of a few Americans, the unlimited political donations coupled with widening inequality create a vicious cycle in which the wealthy buy votes that lower their taxes, give them bailouts and subsidies, and deregulate their businesses, thereby making them even wealthier and capable of buying even more votes. Corruption breeds more corruption. Yet once we have the ability to look beyond this corruption and poverty, we can begin to examine the real mechanizations of this world and beyond. For example, the average human has approximately 100 trillion cells, and each cell is made of approximately 100 trillion atoms, each of which were originally created in the center of a star. The atoms that are your hands may have been created in a different star than the atoms in your feet. So by definition, we are galactic beings because the very structure that makes up our bodies comes from all over the galaxy. We are stardust, quite literally.